This is episode 3 of the Telescopic World. In this episode, we will be talking about the two different forms of transmission underlying the functioning of a structure or lens in a psychic telescope, taking into consideration our earlier discussions in the glitch panopticon about pattern embedding. The structure or lens of a psychic telescope is a kind of informational resonant cavity created by the transformation of electromagnetic wave transmissions into informational arrangement capable of generating synchronicity. When the lens is reversed, it involves the projection of the general, filled with symbolic representations into the particular. The natural orientation of a psychic telescope involves the transmission of the general into the particular through the symbolic representation of objects within the particular details of the receiver's life. The electromagnetic transmission of information or narrative as a form of pattern embedding represents synchronous transmission of electromagnetic waves. Thus, what begins as electromagnetic synchronization transforms into informational synchronization within the mind of any recipient. Pattern embedding, again, is the use of a psychic telescope with a reversed lens, to transmit a structure which can generate resonant communication superluminally. The structure again is the particular conformation of the symbolic representations in the general, which are transmitted into the life of the subject, receiver, in the particular. What is this specific symbolic representation? The arrangement of actors, as symbolic representations, embedded in a narrative structure. It is believed by this author that monologues are directly preserved in the background data of electromagnetic transmissions, which provide the structure of the reversed lens. Now, there are two forms of transmission which rely upon a resonant informational cavity. Information can be transmitted through a dissonant cavity, created by the rejection of one's natural impulses, the affirmatory narratives which transmit through the 9 plates as a function of every exchange. This generates decoupling of Schumann resonances, breakdown in synchronicity, which prompts as a reaction the formation of a tighter connection between other members of the system. In other words, communication through dissonant spaces generates reactive synchronicity which can be seen in the Schumann resonances. Then, there is the transmission of information through the synchronous structures of a psychic telescope. In a reverse lens telescope, the general is symbolic representation, which transmits into the particular. In the natural telescope, the particular of the receiver represents symbolic representation of objects in the subject's life. There are thus 3 different forms of transmission. 2 which rely upon a structure or lens, of either direction, inverted or simple. And a third which relies upon dissonant spaces created by a breakdown in synchronicity caused by resistance to natural impulses, and the other techniques outlined in the monologues and glitch panopticon. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.